why don't we throw you in like a rehab type of slammer, a rehab type of like jail facility where, you know, these cold turkey clinics and all that type of stuff can go on. They might give methadone, something like that to kind of help get you off of it.
Right.
Then to say, hey, we know you used to shoot up in the alley. We know you shoot the needle, still that dirty ass needle in between your toes because your veins are now collapsed. Fall back, breathe easy. Come to our clinics. We have needles, and right down the street, you can buy your supply and come in here and have the time of your life.
I want to know who's in the back chefing up the crack cocaine.
Podcast, you can't win. Talking a good game, you can't win. Topics never lame, you can't win. Win.
Watch your average Joseph. Marvelous. It's ridiculously funny.
I'm Marvelous.
And I'm not your average Joseph.
And we are the Podical Sons, so let's start the show. How you feeling?
I'm good this week. How you feeling, man?
Wonderful. No shades on.
No shades on.
Back.
You're back.
Back. Like
I seen Jimmy Butler take a page out of the shades and do a press conference.
Sometimes you gotta throw some shades on and stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
Too bright. Dr. Umar inside of me. That guy's a villain.
He is a villain.
Dr. Umar's a villain.
You know what I like? You know what I like about his posts?
He has a hero villain technique?
No. It's always the villain, right? But the caption is always promoting whatever he's doing. Like it's always see me at so and so and so and so and so and so. It's never about whatever he's posting.
No. And I think that goes well with a good marketing team because a lot of times you do want to have this, I want to say this clickbait or like aura about you.
Yeah. So
let's say if you have a post, you want to have somebody like thumbnails and all that type of stuff is important, right? So it's kind of like, ooh, what's that? And then if you know that person and stuff is kind of controversial, you want to make it look at least tame as hell to be like, what shit are they up to? And then once you get there, you're there.
Yeah.
Right? He did something last week where he has these hero moments in my life and I was like, yo, like hero. And then last week or the video I saw and stuff, my man was out here saying, if you're a black person, you have 10 white friends, you evil. So like, what did I do? They're my friends. I got nothing to do with that.
If you got 9, you're okay. 9.
Yo, it was crazy. And he's like, and then one part in this whole thing, the man said, I'm paraphrasing, but the man said, he's in the elevator. So, you know, with black people, especially black men in elevators and stuff with white people and stuff, whatever, you know how it is. So he's like, he's in the back of the elevator and the white women are coming in there and they're looking at him like if he's looking at their asses and stuff, whatever, right? He's like, you don't got no ass to look at. I was like, oh my God. He's like, what? He's like, the bunnies don't have no wagons. I was like, oh. You know, he's always cussing the snow bunnies.
He's going to go there. He's going to go down as an underrated black leader.
Like what? Like who? Jesse Jackson type?
No, I think he gets more respect than Jesse Jackson. No? You don't think so?
You wildin'. Yo, you wildin'.
I think he gets more respect than Jesse Jackson, man.
You wildin'.
We have to ask Dr. Umara. Who's higher on her list?
Facts. I will ask her.
I have to ask her.
I'll ask her and stuff for her. I'll send her a message stuff and figure out what's all that. But yeah, man. Sorry, people. Like, comment, subscribe.
All of that.
All of the above. PodicalSons.com. All streaming platforms possible. You can see us on YouTube, Spotify, and PodicalSons.com. Yeah, get back to the regular schedule. So let me tell you something. I love Dr. Umar. I just can't support everything he's behind.
No,
the
listen,
school ambition, I'm for.
Yeah. And let us be straight. We love our black people, but we are pro-human first and foremost. Meaning we love all people. All right, continue.
I think with him, what he says, like, okay, wasn't he the one that said something about Khaled?
Yes.
Facts.
It is facts. It is facts.
Facts. He said Khaled.
It was Khaled. Also Vlad.
Vlad, yeah, culture vulture.
Pointed out Vlad too.
Vlad is definitely a culture
There was
vulture.
one more I could not remember, but Khaled. The reason why Khaled stuck out to me is because no one ever paints him like that. But if you really sit down and think about it, I haven't seen him stand up for anything pro-black.
None of them though.
No, none of them.
It's rare. Like, I mean,
But at least Vlad's been called out. Vlad's been called out
by Dr. Umar.
for being a culture vulture.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it. Nobody else is called out Vlad.
I think the only thing is stuff is they no with Vlad they just call they point out Vlad because they always need a villain,
Right.
right? And the thing is stuff is that they're gonna shoot it out, but I want to say most things won't stick to Vlad because I want to say. Let's say when or his company does these major interviews, because he's not the only one doing interviews over there.
Right.
So when his company stuff is doing all these interviews and stuff like that, when it's his other team or I want to say the lower ranks of the team doing these interviews,
Yeah.
you don't see comments like that. When it's him particular, that's when like the it's like a drop of blood and it's like a pack of great white sharks just come out of nowhere. And I was like, they just don't like my dude. I'm not saying like he's my dude, like I'm a friend, but I'm looking at him like, yo, they don't like this guy.
Yeah.
So because they don't like this guy, this is just the sonic boom that kind of comes with it.
Is hip hop culture black culture?
Hell no. That's everybody's culture.
So then, can we really get mad at a Vlad and then a DJ Khaled if they're what considered to be hip hop culture and not necessarily black culture?
I think. Would you run that question back and I have another question stuff. Say it again.
Okay. If we're saying that hip hop culture is not necessarily black culture, right?
Okay.
Can we get mad at the fact that Vlad or DJ Khaled are apparently using hip hop culture, right? But not supporting black culture?
You can get mad at anything you want.
Right.
So people can get mad at anything they want. Me, for myself, I can't tell you how to feel. Now, I look at it stuff as hip-hop culture is pop culture.
Right.
Black culture and hip-hop culture stuff, I want to say, of course, it's synonymous of like the origin story and the origin path.
Right.
But there's tons of black people that don't fuck with hip-hop.
Yes, that's true.
So I look at it stuff as where, again, that doesn't support like the cause of like, let's say if hip hop, you have some music that might be for gangster shit,
right?
Stripper music, like you claim, conscious stuff. These subgenres, they support their own type of tribe,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't. Okay, if you get a track from, let's say, a Lil Baby, and he's now talking the conscious type of stuff like he was doing during the pandemic, like during the lockdowns, that's not really his lane way. He doesn't have many tracks and stuff like it compared to like, let's say, Common.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So now, if he jumps into that, it's just kind of fitting to like a new like revenue or alley and stuff for that. But if they're talking about a particular content, let's say, police killing young black men and they're black men themselves, yeah, it might lead into the black culture and stuff, but they're still two separate worlds.
Right.
So I don't look at it as stuff as like, they're doing their thing because they base and feed off hip hop culture. But it's just that a lot of black people and stuff are behind hip hop culture.
Right.
So that's why they might feel a type of way. But I can't tell you how to feel. Like, that's up to you. If you look at it stuff, if Vlad is that much of a problematic person, create something and crush him.
Yeah. Yeah.
DJ Khaled's a problem. Don't fuck with Khaled.
And I think that was the only thing that came to my mind when I first seen the comment with him going after Khaled for not supporting the black community, and it's like saying, okay, he's a culture vulture, but I'm like, okay, what is he vulturing from? Is he vulturing from hip hop, or is he vulturing from like the black culture in itself? And it's like, if he's vulturing from hip hop, then I don't know. He's paid his dues in hip hop. Like as far as hip hop is concerned, he's paid his dues, right? As far as hip hop is concerned, Vlad paid their dues. As far as the black culture is concerned, I don't think they have anything to pay except for homage for people who created the industry that you now benefit from.
Right. Because I think, see, when Umar was calling out them like that, okay, let's say you have Vlad, let's say you have Khaled go to a hip hop awards, right? And they're doing their normal ones and twos. Now, if there's a particular booth there about for Black Lives Matter or support, like,
right.
you know, like is it Khalid Brown or something like Browler or something? The guy in New York who they had the documentary. If it's something pertaining to that, and let us say Vlad does his own exclusive interview with dude and comes with, I want to say, decent questions. Like, even like you can come in, I always look at it as if you can come into controversial shit or the shit you think might be controversial or things to stir the pot. But if you come with some proper shit, I don't think we'll look at it as a cultural vulture move. No. It's just an informative kind of dance.
Right.
But then when you come at it with a particular angle, like, what's the dude name? What are the tats?
Adam
22. When Captain Samuels died and stuff, whatever, he sat on that interview, but he's like, ain't no time with the president. I don't see Adam 22 out here doing mad interviews and stuff with, or even like fucking with the hip hop community or much as the black community.
Right.
He has to select the people that he might dig and because they're following and stuff, and then the people end up there. So he's like, yeah, I'm gonna use opportunity and stuff, whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna get this bread. And that's why when Joe Buttons went at him and stuff, I was like, you can't tell a cultural vulture? Like, do you need help to identify a cultural vulture?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so weird to me. If you haven't seen Khaled line up at a Black Lives Matter or with all this type of stuff, obviously he's a cultural vulture. But again, he's not coming from the hip hop. I mean, he's not coming from the black culture. I mean, Republicans wear shoes. Wear Jordan.
Wear Jordan.
Khaled got a lot of Air Jordans. He got his own We the Best Jordans.
Khaled do got a lot. He does got a lot of Jordans.
So I'm saying, like, is that hip hop culture or is that sneaker culture now? What are we breaking this down to?
It's so funny because I originally know Khaled from dancehall culture. I don't even know him from like the beginnings, like his early beginnings. I know him from like dancehall culture. I don't even know him from the hip hop.
I know him from radio from Florida.
From Florida?
Yeah, I know him from radio from Florida, and then I guess eventually he got attached to Fat Joe with the Terror Squad.
Right.
So I want to say most of the Terror Squad people, to my knowledge, is all New York, and Khaled's been in Florida. So with them, I guess, doing their ones and twos, he just ended up getting attached. And then after that, for me, the rest of the Khaled stuff is like kind of like history and stuff filling in. So that's how I knew Khaled, and we are here now. Let's get to the polls. Get to the polls. Let's do that. First question of the week said, do you have an alter ego? 71% said yes. Tell me, do you have an alter ego?
I got a Smooth. I got Not Your Average Joseph.
So, okay, what makes them so different? What's the difference between Smooth and Not Your Average Joseph?
Smooth is just that cool kid from high school.
Okay.
That's always been the cool kid from high school. So that's who you know Smooth as. Not Your Average Joseph is the person that does everything art-wise, right? Now that person used to be Smooth, but the persona is now Not Your Average Joseph. So anytime I deal with music or I'm dealing with anything as far as film or video or anything of that nature, that's like the hat I have on. I got my Not Your Average Joseph hat on, and I think in that mode, which thinks totally different from Smooth. Smooth is just hang out with my friends, joke, this, that, and the third, which is totally different from my Govy Andrew, which is just family man, businessman, this, that, and the third. So yeah, the alter egos, they tend to differ. Sometimes they'll blend, but for the most part, they'll stay separate. How about you?
I think mine's and stuff is more like kind of like emotions. So I want to say I have like an alter ego for like the sad moments. I have an alter ego for like the angry moments, the joyful moments. You know what I'm saying? Like and those are stuff like all break down like different parts of Marvin.
Yeah, you're like a mood ring.
Pretty much. But I'm like a mood person and stuff in general.
Yeah.
Like outside today, it's raining.
Right.
If I get in the car and start driving, I'm not gonna be playing hip hop, whatever. I'm probably playing some jazz.
Okay.
That's just the vibe and stuff that I'm in.
Right.
Right. And so some people would be like, "No, I'm always gonna play hip hop. I'm always gonna play this." That's not me.
Right.
Another day, I might just listen to like fucking like some rock music. You know what I'm saying? Because like even like you guys are like, oh, you listen to I listen to everything. So I'm like in a different kind of mood. I might, some days you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, my alter egos kind of like have derivatives and stuff within that world.
Within that world.
Because they have a whole different kind of body. Name-wise, I might get them a different name. Yeah. But I just know, like, let me say, like, my Angry Marv, that's the terrorist.
That's the terrorist?
The goal is just to destroy shit. Like, no one really likes him.
Right.
But he's necessary to have. He's definitely necessary. You need to let them know whatever. Yo, look, take a good look. My blood clot naming on my good book. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Sometimes you gotta just tell them that whatever.
Right.
Get your own damn translation for that. I ain't translating shit because y'all done resurrected the wrong Marv now.
Wrong Marv.
And
scene.
Calm down now. We're back. So it's just strange to me. Like I want to say that wasn't at 100%.
Right.
I feel like most of my people and stuff have their alter ego modes.
You think some people just don't recognize that they have an alter ego? And
then that's a problem with knowing self.
Right.
Because I feel like if you don't know self enough to say for a fact, like, oh my God, I'm not really, this is not typically what I'll do. What movie was that? With the skits, Jim Carrey. Me, Myself, and Irene.
Okay.
Me, Myself, and Irene. The time when shit was starting to go haywire on him before they realized he had Hank.
Right.
Split personality. He'd just be there and like people would just do some fucked up shit to him. He just twitch. You're just like, and now he's doing some shit that you're not normally would do.
Right.
So I look at it where you're driving and you normally would take this type of route every day, all day to go to a set destination you've been to several times. You now saying you're going to try a different route at a different speed is a new thing that, you know, the normal Andrew wouldn't do.
Right.
Now you're bobbing and weaving, treating this shit like some James Bond shit. You turn on a mood music, you turn on some music, you get a type of vibe. Say your wife look at you like, what's up with you? And then you got your shades on, you're like, I'm Batman. I don't know, some shit like that. You're in a that's not the normal you.
Well, I was about to say, I mean, I think a lot of people have a work self and a home self, and they just don't realize it.
This is true.
A lot of people have a work self and a home self. There's certain shit that you do at work that you probably wouldn't do at home, and there's shit that you would do at home that you probably would never do at work.
I spoke to a woman and stuff, I think, sometime in the beginning of April, and she said to me, she's like, right now, I'm in slut mode. So I put my hand up, I'm like, I thought we're not supposed to be slut shaming anymore, right? This is 2023.
Yeah.
And she's like, not today.
Not today.
Tomorrow, I will wake up into work mode. She said, for now, it's slut mode. She's like, do you know what slut mode entails? I'm like, you getting another drink? She's like, thank you. I was like,
that's it.
That's it.
Say less.
I feel like a lot of people, this is just my opinion, you don't really take the time to understand self, right? Because sometimes the alter egos and stuff are useful.
Yeah.
Because you know the normal you want to be doing something like that. Remember, we say greatness doesn't come from the comfort zone.
Right.
You could be great, you could be safe. You can't be both. You might have a safe mode. I have a safe mode too. But again, safe mode is not always should be on, even on the PCs.
Yeah.
They're not always supposed to be on. You do that to kind of get to the root of some problems and stuff, whatever, in that time. But other than that, just run off free.
Just let it go.
There are different modes, at different time and place and settings for people.
Right. So, and what was the numbers on that?
71.
71.
Okay. Who's more lonelier, women or men? That one was 75.
For men.
For men.
I said men.
I said men. Why do you think men are more lonelier?
I think it's easier for women to be approached.
You think it's easier for women to be approached?
Yeah, I think men are hunter-gatherers. So men are always on the hunt. So I think they're always looking to approach women. Whereas and I think the opposite, I think women are always expected to be approached. So you have very few women out there shooting shots than you have men.
I don't feel like, okay, so pertaining to what you just said, I feel like we're still stuck with archaic ways in modern times.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if we're at the point where we know women now take charge in their lives, their own personal lives, but like we're talking about like homeowners, cars and everything. You want car, you want this, you want whatever, you go get it. So if you want man, why does that stop?
Mm.
Right? You get what I'm saying? So like that's so weird. And you're like, oh, well, back then, men traditionally hunt women. But I'm like, but those days are over. Back then, there was no cell phones. Back then, there wasn't social medias.
Right.
Now we're living in these times now, whatever. You can shoot your shot. I might not see you. I might not see the woman. Like I had somebody tell me something one day. I was like, yo, if I'm in my zone, much as I'm listening to my music and I'm in like a proper vibe, a proper state, I'm lacking.
Yeah, the blinkers are on.
Everything. Horse blindness is on.
Straightforward.
Don't give a shit about too much. Be like, oh, I saw you at whatever the fuck. I was like, what? You had this, and this on, whatever. I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, I've been there before. So why you ain't say nothing? Crickets. I seen somebody commented on the question, funny as hell, by the way. She said, men are more lonelier because women have their personalities to talk to. I ain't mad at that.
I ain't mad at that either.
I feel like, well, we make up a good portion of the suicide rate.
Yep.
Right? Fuck. Did you think it's easy to be a man in today's time?
I don't think it's easy to be a man in today's time.
And I think a lot of things and stuff that, quote unquote, to be a man, you got to take some things to the chin, or I guess it's expected of you.
Yeah.
So you basically have to hug that, or you have to hold that L in a hopefully in a quiet place for yourself.
Right.
And you gotta, big boys don't cry and go out there and stuff and face the world.
Before you hug and hold that L, you gotta put up a fight, because you gotta make it seem like you're fighting. You can't just be belly up. You can't just belly up. No, because if you just belly up, you weren't a real man to begin with. So you can't just belly up. You gotta fight the losing cause. Pretty much.
I don't like you, but it's so true.
You gotta fight the losing cause.
The truth will set you free, but at first it'll piss you off.
It'll piss you off.
Why would I want to fight for something that I know it's already done?
Right. Yeah.
How can she slap? Like, no. Real talk. Like, let's say a set relationship and stuff is a wrap.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
She knows in her heart of hearts and stuff, whatever, it might not.
So
you take the silent route to say, you know what? I've washed my hands from the scenario and call it a day.
Let's call it a day. Let's not fight anymore. And then you get called
a piece of shit and all types of things because you didn't fight.
Right.
Y'all really want that? Y'all want the tyrant to come out this episode. This episode's brought to you by blood. There will be a lot of it split. Nah, that's some bullshit though. That it's so true, because there's tons of times I probably had, like, I want to say, not even with men. Well, men too. Let me say this. I went somewhere like over a decade ago, right? And I was out. I don't think I was out on a date, but I was out with a woman though, right?
Right.
And let's say set dude try to pick up set woman, right? And whoever the woman I was with, we were just cool.
Okay.
Dude tried to pick up set woman, right? She not having it. Not my vagina. I don't own no vagina. I own a dick.
Yeah.
Got nothing to do with me.
Mm-hmm.
He now turns his words and stuff, whatever, to me. So I guess he's like, oh, because what? because you're with, and he made some comment like because you're with that you're a piece of shit man or something like that, whatever.
Right.
Or you're a pipsqueak man, some shit along the lines.
Right.
So I'm looking, I'm like, what's going on? Me? So I'm like, and it wasn't even like, because I'm looking at something like, I do want to say some shit, but I'm like, this is not my woman. This is not my woman, first and foremost. I was thinking about, like, if the fight's going to pop off, what am I going to say? Oh, he was disrespecting me? Everybody disrespects everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at him like, and I look and I pointed, what up? What up? What up? And she's getting turned, whatever, right? So I'm looking like, wherever your address is and stuff, whatever, write down a piece of paper, wait for me. I'll come through.
Right.
She'll go about her business. We'll swap it the fuck out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Oh, but now she put me, oh, Marv, you don't have to do all this and stuff for her. And then people trying to calm him down and stuff like that. And I was like, when I'm walking out, I was like, you wouldn't let me walk out quietly. She didn't want to give you no time of day.
Yeah.
The fuck that got to do with me?
Right.
And I was like, even damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Yeah. Damn if you do, damn if you don't.
And then we know the conversations with women, if you don't argue or you don't, it's like, you don't even care. It's like, no, I washed my hands from the scenario.
I've seen this play out too many times, too many different ways. I know how this ends already. I'm just getting ahead of the game.
So how does this work when it comes to you and your woman now? So when it comes to you and your woman now, and then you guys get into this type of thing, and let's say you see how this is going to work out and you shut the fuck up and you call it a day.
Yeah.
Right? And let's say she's come like, you say you don't even care. What do? Tell us. We need to know your Zen master ways.
No, you have to remind them all the times that you do care, and the times that they acknowledge it, because there are times. So
you still have to fight then.
So
as a man, you're just gonna fight.
You gotta fight, especially in that situation, right? It's like if it's not your woman, you don't care. You're not gonna wake up and see her tomorrow. Then nah. But if you're gonna wake up and see her tomorrow, then you obviously gotta just make sure tomorrow is a different day and everybody's on the same page. Everybody's happy as shit.
Right.
So what I usually do is just basically is like, oh, but no, if you think about it, remember last week when you were giving me all these praises for something that I did do, those things that I did do is because I care, right? And it's just like, it's easy to forget these things when we're upset and we're mad.
Very true.
But as long as I can remind you and you can acknowledge that, hey, you know what? Okay, I'm just upset, and I know you really do care, because a lot of times that's what it is, right? Like they do know, and it's the what do you call it? The jabbing, the prodding, the poke in the bear, the poke in the bear. You know what I mean? Just to get that further reaction, or just to such as you ignore it.
So women just want to poke the bear. They just want to see if you care. That's why they poke the bear.
That's why they poke the bear, to see if you care.
To see if you care.
Which sometimes is rare.
Very rare.
Very rare.
No, they do that shit all the time. It's unrare. It's unrare. They be like, this nigga look peaceful today. Fuck him. And they just jab. Because like, you just mind your business. You're like, today's going to be a good day. I ain't got shit to do. I don't got too much to do. I'm going to just conquer this and just be in my
Why are women always testing? Why do they always got to test you? Why is always a test involved?
I always ask myself that question. I can't give you an answer. I can't give you. And when I ask my female friend, I asked my mother. I asked my mother one day, I said, why do women like to test men? And she said, contrary to what you believe, women don't want no weak men. She said, women don't want no weak men. And she said, if you failed the test, you feel like you pass the test, you win the test, you're strong.
Right.
You lose at the test, you're weak. You're a loser. Women don't want to lie themselves with a loser. Even if if they're with you and stuff on potential, it's still the potential stuff that you're gonna win in some aspect and stuff with it. But if they can underline determine that you're a fucking loser, or that, they're gonna test you. They'll be like, not too sure about this one. Let me try this. I remember I was talking to this woman way back when, I think like I was like 18, 19. No, 19. I was 19 at the time.
Right.
She said to me, and it's so funny because I saw her like a year or two ago, and it was so hilarious. I'm on the phone with her.
Yeah.
I'm doing my ones and twos in my own house, and she at her spot, and I guess that cousin was there.
Right.
Right? So she's older. She's older and stuff because I think at the time I was like, say, 18, 19 or something like that. And I think she was about like 23, 24.
Okay.
Right? So I was talking about some school stuff. So I was just trying to eat some food and get ready just to knock out some school shit. She's like, she's doing something. Hold on real quick. So she walked away allegedly. Said cousin picks up phone.
Right.
She's like, hello. I'm like, hello. She's like, what's your name? So I was like, you can ask your cousin.
Right.
I'm like, this is a test of the emergency broadcast system and stuff. What are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
So I said, she's like, oh, you're from the States. You sound cute. How the fuck you sound cute? God knows. Only God knows.
Only God knows.
So I'm like, thank you. So I'm like, she's like, you don't even care to ask my name? I was like, you're blank blank's cousin.
Right.
Nice to meet you.
Right.
If she's still busy, just tell her to give me a call back. So she passed the phone. They said, oh, you passed the test. Really? I didn't know that, boo-boo. What is my consolation prize? What did I win? What did I win? A longer chance with you?
I've been on the end of 3-way calls.
Yeah, I've been there.
Which I was supposed to, not realize that I was on the other end of a three-way call. It's like, listen, ladies. 3-way calls, they inherently sound different than regular calls. If you weren't aware of that. So if you listen distinctly, you can tell that either there's another line connected or something else is happening.
Back then, yes.
Back then.
Today, no.
Today?
We can go on 3-way right now. I mute my background and stuff and I can hear whatever the fuck.
Right. Yes. Back. So we're talking back then. We're not talking 3-way on this one.
Definitely.
3-way on the house phone. You definitely knew. And I was like, I'll ask me all these setup questions. Like, I don't know I'm being set up. like, come on.
You'd be surprised. There'd be some dumbass dudes out here just answering some kind of shit. Me, I'm the asshole that I am. I realize the stuff that once I feel like this is a test, I lean into it in a dark way. So I'm like, oh shit. Because one woman's like, she left me. Okay, so I was at her house and she said she left me there. She had to leave for like a few minutes. So I'm like, okay, I'll dip. She's like, no, I'll be back. I'm not going to stay too long and stuff, whatever. Like, she said, give me like 20 minutes. And if any case come, I'm like, it'd be better if I just came with you. She's like, you don't want to stay in my apartment? So I was like, okay, cool. So I stayed in the apartment. I just stayed on the couch. I was on my phone. She took actually probably like maybe almost 40 minutes and stuff like that. And she, you didn't go in the room? You didn't go in the room? Why you didn't go in the room? I was just waiting here. When I go in the room and stuff like that, she had like, I guess, the sexy lingerie. She's getting ready to throw on and stuff like that. So she wanted me to see like the preview of things to come.
Right.
You know? So I was like, you didn't even look in the room like, this is not my spot. I don't pay bills here.
Yeah.
If you tell me to designate myself here, I'm like, yo, give me tell me where the bathroom is where I can piss. And if I choke, I might need something to drink.
That's
it.
Right, yeah.
I'm here. I'm planted.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're such a good guy. I thought you went through my shit, whatever. I was like, you went through my shit? She's like, definitely I done went through your shit.
No. They're going through your shit.
Women. 2 wasted job talents.
Mm.
Archaeologists and private eye. Private investigators. They know how to dig up the fucking past and they know how to inspect and insert some shit.
Yep.
I don't know. Let's talk. Oh, you know my one last question about the loneliness thing? When was the last time you were at your loneliest mark? As a man.
As a man? Maybe about 2 years ago.
2 years ago?
Yeah.
And did you end up pulling yourself up out of it?
Yeah, I pulled myself up out of it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Some people can't, don't really have that fortitude.
Right. Yeah.
To do that, right? The last time I felt lonely, it was probably about that. No. Where were we? 2023? 2020.
2020?
2020. And it wasn't even like I think even after the pandemic thing starts opening up, I think it was just a situation where you don't know who is who and what is what. And the pandemic stuff is so much. And plus I work in healthcare too. So like there was a lot of stigmas around, people who work in healthcare.
Yeah.
So it was a different kind of understanding for myself to be so social. Not to be able to have like people around me like that. Be like, yo, come through. You work in a hospital and everything like that. I'm like, oh, I'll come check you. Like, we have a social bubble over here. You know what I'm saying? So I was looking like,
damn.
You're right.
Ain't nobody want me.
So like, all right, you know what? Fuck this. So I think eventually I end up, I think I'll probably end up finding like a woman to like occupy the time with. And it's not even like in a bad way, but I want to say we just chilled.
Yeah.
We just chilled and stuff for her because I think she was in a situation and stuff like that.
Similar?
And I just asked her. I had in conversations with her. I'm like, are you lonely? And she's like, oh my gosh. And like she stopped and she took a deep breath and she like was about to cry. She's like, this pandemic is weighing a lot on people. So I was like, yeah, but I was like, I think people just are more offset on people. But I'm like, if we didn't have the pandemic, would you still be out and about interacting, having dinner with friends or meeting new people? And she's like, no.
Right.
No. So you felt the extra kind of weight and log on you and the fact that now you can't do it when you had the choice and you were able to do it.
Yeah.
And now I want to say they kind of taking that part away from you.
Right.
It felt a lot excruciating for a lot of people. But I pulled myself up out of that. I think it was just a situation, like I said, if I was able to have at least one person I was able to interact with besides like my friends,
yeah,
it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this drugstore in BC. How you feel about this? Is Canada going to hell before America? Because I don't think they're selling crack in Oregon. They're selling coke. Bumps of coke.
Yeah. When they decided to make certain types of drugs and the amounts legal, and then they were kind of like, okay, we're going to open up the floodgates to like different drugs. I was like, you might have wanted to kind of like test run it, like, maybe like a smaller type setting first.
They sell a lot of shit here. So it's called the Drugs Store. They sell cocaine, and the price range from $20 to $220. Crack cocaine from $20 to $250. Heroin, $25 to $200. Meth, $10 to $100. You know what's the price difference between the meth and the crack? MDMA, $10 to $150. And they said no impurities or cuts. So you're getting...
It ain't been stepped on. It ain't been stepped on, folks. Pure.
Pure crack.
Pure.
Pure crack.
Pure. So what kind of problems have we been running into, Marv?
I don't know. I look at it like here's my thing. Yeah. Hear me out. If you were ever curious, the purest form possible, wouldn't this be the better route to go?
Of course it'd be the better route to go.
Now, my thing and stuff is, the reason why I said like it's kind of going to hell faster than America, because I look at it where BC, they're known to have a drug problem.
Yeah.
Mad drug addictions. They have clinics and I guess junkies to shoot. Why would you create a place for junkies to shoot up?
And
They had a
in the
place
name
where-
of safety. Like, I'm trying to figure out like what is more safe about it. It's because you're providing them with clean needles. Like, I don't get it. You're providing them with clean needles. That was one argument, right? They're not using and they're not transfusing or passing on any type of disease what they would be passing on. But okay, that's fine. You went from supplying free needles and sites where these people to go get high if they want to get high
to a full-on party pack.
Actually, yeah, to like saying, okay, we're not gonna help you get high. Like, I don't get that. I don't get that part.
So, right. So that's the part of the reason why I'm looking at this whole situation. I'm like the governments are really here to fucking destroy you.
Yeah.
They're here to destroy, like, make it make sense to, where's the help? You could put that money and say, like, all right, if we arrest you, I don't know, this is just me. I'm just, like I said, I'm cooking with it, whatever, right?
Right.
If we arrest you on drug possession charges, and then we do tests to see that you have set drugs and stuff in your system, why don't we throw you in like a rehab type of slammer, a rehab type of like jail facility where, you know, these cold turkey clinics and all that type of stuff can go on. They might give methadone, something like that to kind of help get you off of it.
Right.
Then to say, hey, we know you used to shoot up in the alley. We know you shoot the needle, still that dirty ass needle in between your toes because your veins are now collapsed. Fall back, breathe easy. Come to our clinics. We have needles, and right down the street, you can buy your supply and come in here and have the time of your life.
I want to know who's in the back chefing up the crack cocaine.
I didn't show you the manager do for the place? Yo, the guy, bucket. Fucking crackhead galore. That's what he looked like to me. He can come for me.
Oh yeah, he's definitely in the back chefing up the crack.
He's the one cooking it up.
He's cooking. He's cooking.
He's probably cooking the sample at the same time. You know the chef? You know one of them like, you know, just...
We're low on crack, Bob. Okay, just I'll wait for cocaine. All right, just move some over.
You were close with the name, but guess what his name is? Jerry. Yeah, I was like, I don't know. The thought process just blew my mind. I was like, yo, the Canadian government is fucking stupid.
Yeah, and then again, it's like the government's not regulating it. So this is a regular guy. Just like they're doing it like weed shops.
Mm-hmm. Just like a weed shop. Just like a weed shop. My thing is, I think, is that they believe since BC was ahead of the game when it came to marijuana.
Right.
It took them so long and stuff for, I want to say, the rest of the other provinces and other places to kind of get hip with the whole marijuana thing.
Right.
How much they can make from it and how much the government in general could benefit from it. That's why they feel like they don't want to get left behind when it comes to other things. Now, Oregon was the first place I heard that like you're allowed to get caught with like a legal amount of a small amount of I think it's cocaine.
Okay.
I don't think it's heroin. I think it's cocaine.
Okay.
Right? Don't quote me. But I was like, oh shit. And that's West Coast.
Right.
Right?
Right.
That's West Coast. BC's West Coast too. So it's kind of like most of the visitors and stuff, even like I think from Seattle to BC, even in that neck of the woods, I think it's probably like a 2-hour drive.
Mm.
So you can, if they know they can go there, have all their time in their life and everything, then hey, why the fuck not?
So it begs me to ask, why are drugs like ayahuasca still illegal then?
I think, you know what it is? It's the vomiting aspect.
Is that what it is?
Because I think the reaction to stuff is kind of like, I was told, don't quote me. Pardon, baby. We're allowed to be wrong.
We can be wrong. We can be wrong.
Somebody told me, they said that when... Okay, so with the reaction with the ayahuascas, right? People like, you're going to yak.
Right.
That's why they want to give you some food. They want to make sure hopefully your body can hold out that type of stuff. I guess the reaction for like the side effect or reaction for certain people, it might vary.
Mm.
And they can't put a marker on it. Now, somebody was saying, allegedly, some of the people in the South Americas, when they do these type of things, some of them don't make it back.
Oh.
So they're not too sure if it's the ayahuasca taking its toll, or maybe in the process of seeing God, they're probably like, God's like, this life has nothing for you. Just come with me. So people have done ayahuasca.
Right.
And then I'm going to say not drop dead from it, but like has been nowhere to be found, or they probably died from other causes.
Right.
And the ayahuasca might have been the trigger.
Right. Okay.
So they're looking like, it's not too clean. It's not too whatever the fuck, because think about like stuff like peyote, what's this shit called? Salvia, those type of things. Like they're technically like herbs.
Right, yeah.
And things is naturally grown.
Yeah.
So now once you hear now, oh, you can naturally grow this, why not you import some fucking seeds? 10 years you have your own ayahuasca bush. You can have your own ceremonies in your background.
You can.
So I think that's the thing. It's like, it's a little too natural.
Right.
To kind of keep on standby. You see, like when it comes to the other shit, we gotta chemically do shit.
Yeah. Got it. Got it.
Trying to go to ayahuasca party?
I'm trying to get that couple band of shrooms. Any
might not be
psychedelic.
Any psychedelic.
Any
you with it?
Any psychedelic.
I know somebody that knows somebody.
You know somebody that knows somebody? All right.
You know.
We'll talk after the show.
We'll talk after the show. I was about to say, you know the shit that killed me? I seen something on them. There's a mushroom chocolate bar. It's called, I don't want to say the name. Cut the check. But basically, this mushroom chocolate bar, like let's say the disclaimer on there, they tell you like if you eat like 15 milligrams or more, you've entered God mode. Why the fuck it says God mode? It's beyond me.
Yeah.
But it's letting you know like, hey, buckle up, bitch. So
it's no ordinary shrooms.
No. I mean, make some phone calls for us, Smooth. What's the next thing? Oh, Writers Guild strike. So, all right.
No, enough shrooms.
No. Not enough rooms for them to write it now. Are you for or against like most strikes you hear about? Before we even get into details because, you know, here.
Yeah.
There's been the strike with the
nurses, teachers.
Tons. Well, I'm about to say we're running out. The most recent strike here would be the government.
The government, yeah.
With the whole income tax.
They're still on strike.
Yeah, they're still on strike. Right? Are you for most of the strikes you hear about? Or you just like don't give a fuck? So let's say if they you know about the government one.
Yeah.
And how their wages and, you know, certain freezes and stuff, like, you know, it missed them.
Yeah.
Are you for that?
Yeah, I'm for it.
You for them striking?
Yeah.
Now, when you used to work in specific places, did they have strikes? And were you for those strikes?
Yeah. I mean, when I used to work for...
Because some strikes, you're not for it, but you just have to roll.
Yeah, especially if you're part of the union. Yeah.
That too, especially.
A lot of times you just gotta roll with the punches, right? But, you know, for the most part, though, I think when you're in a situation like that, and before you even gets to the strike portion, if you're part of the union, then you pretty much already kind of have an idea of where you're lacking and what you're striking for, and for the most part, it's usually your benefit, right? So then you'll go ahead and strike. Very rarely where you'll if it's not for your benefit, that you'll end up striking. So yeah, I don't really have a situation where
devil's advocate here, because sometimes they might just be striking for, I want to say, a cause that might have a trickle down effect on you, but it won't be directly towards you. Like I've seen a lot of people and stuff, they've waged wars, and the more numbers that they tally up for this war, it's just more beneficial for them to wage the war than it is just to take everything laying down. So it's kind of like if they were laying down by themselves, certain changes wouldn't impact their world. But if they're like, no, fuck this. You. Yeah, we're not for this, right? You're like, this just came to work.
See, and I've seen where that works in an opposite way, right? Because I was with the last job I was at, the union that we were in, like certain things the company wanted to do, right? And the vets, it would have been okay for them. They would have been cool, but 5 years or 6 years down the line, when that part of the new plan kicks in, it screws everybody else. So the vets would be like, No, well, not because we're sitting pretty now and it's not going to affect us. No, later on it's going to affect you guys. So no, we're going to vote no, or we're going to vote yes in order for you guys down the line. It may not affect me ever, but I know it's going to affect my union brothers. So,
which is good.
Yeah. And like I said, it depends on your union and depends on your coworkers, right? It's like if they're willing to say, nah, you guys are going to get screwed in the long run. Let's not do it. Not because it's going to benefit for me. How much is it going to benefit me? Really, right? If it's really going to screw you guys over, then. And then you have the exact, you have the exact opposite. It was like, man, nigga, I'm gone in a few years. I don't care what happens. Yeah, you definitely have those types as well.
With this Writers Guild of America strike, and they say pens down. Last time was 2007. And in 2007, we lost shows like Heroes and other movies and stuff that never came to fruition.
Right.
That's why a lot of times when somebody was explaining to me, they're like, oh, you had this one movie you probably thought was so great. And so many years down the line, they decide to do a sequel or a reboot and everything. A lot of the times, like the writers, they couldn't tally up was part of the problem.
Right.
They said before you would have a full room of writers for even like, let's say The Simpsons.
Yeah. Now
you have like a small writer's room and might just enclose of like, it went from 12 to like 3 now.
Right.
Right. Or it might be 2 people and you might just add like a little line or something like that to whatever they might be working on. And now you just make part of the writer team and stuff. So when you're watching the credits for a lot of these things, they're like executive produced or written by blah, blah, blah. You probably had like, hey, what if we throw this line in and stuff to be funny? And
you get the credit.
Right. Pens are down across the board.
Right.
2007, The Daily Show was the only thing running. Everything else got shut the fuck down. With this happening across the board, I get it. I'm for it. But we have a major player in the mix now. So I want to know, would you be okay if ChatGPT wrote your shows that you wanted to watch?
Keep it a buck?
Yo.
Keep it a buck. I'm pretty sure this idea is running through quite a lot of executives' heads right now.
Think about it. You're pulling from the internet. Say, all right, we know Game of Thrones, spoiler alert, we know Game of Thrones ended shit to us.
Right.
We can agree to that, right? Your ChatGPT now is collecting information all over the internet about telling you how the ending was shit. And now ChatGPT now writes a new script on a better ending or a continuation of what they probably fucked up.
Of course.
Why do you need to pay so many damn writers? You just gotta pay for the program.
You're just feeding it all the information that you need to feed.
That's it.
And say, write a script.
That's it.
And it's not just going to take all the information and write a script.
I think, so the main thing what they're fighting for is the residual stuff, especially when it comes to the streaming aspect. I'm for them.
Yeah.
I'm for that, right? But I look at it where we know what we know now. So I want to say moving forward. So like a statute of limitation, I don't think it's really, forgive me to all the great writers and stuff out there, but I don't feel like a statute of limitation should be applicable in this kind of moment. You guys should come with a type of thing. I don't know how the union works.
Yeah.
My opinion, I don't know.
Yeah.
We shooting. But I feel like they should come with a moment and say, all right, this is the precedent. And moving forward now, when it comes to these things running these streaming platforms, you're going to beg and ask for these platforms to be transparent with their information, which they're probably not.
Right.
Because if I know I ran a movie like Kindergarten Cop 10 times, like 1,000 times and stuff a month, and I know I have to pay a bigger check out to, let's say, Paramount.
Yeah.
If they run it, whatever. I don't know who runs it. But if I only played 100 episodes and I have to pay less, obviously I'm going to tell you only streamed it 400 times.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to pay you that much for the mechanical royalties because of how everything breaks down.
Right.
I feel like the movie contract deals now, especially when they're dealing with production, should say like, all right, moving forward as a writer, this is your percentage for your residual. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To go back and try and chase like an old demon and stuff to try and build from something like that, we can't.
No. You just have to, and a lot of that stuff is not to say that you can't. It's gonna be dependent on how the contract is written. If the contract was written that in perpetuity, like the production house themselves says going forward, any medium, in the whether it be in the past or present or in the future, right? Any medium we have rights to. You have a certain amount of rights to, or we have rights to going forward, right? If it's in the agreement that to say, okay, no matter what medium or what type of service it goes, I have a percentage on, then you can always argue that fact, right? It doesn't matter. It could go to telepathy.
I get it.
I have a right to that. If it's not in the contract, then you have nothing to argue. So you might as well just start fresh and then make sure those terms
A precedent
are in the new contract.
Thank you.
Right.
That's the reason why when it came to the strike, like I said, I'm for them getting their bread.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it doesn't make sense to me.
No.
Because I'm like, you're chasing a lot of like backwind, and if you're hoping for even a something retroactive for that, that's wild because it wasn't written then.
Yeah.
Like even now, I look at it where, who was the king of the ring? I think it was like the king of the queen. I think it was Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy was the king of like the ringtone dance, the ringtone era, right? Because I think Soulja Boy and Beyonce, they kind of like, especially when they Kiss Me Through the Phone, that song in particular, like catapulted him and stuff, right?
Right.
Through plays, so recognitions. Transcribe over to a check, it wasn't that much. So now I was now looking at like, well, I feel like nobody fucking has their phone on ringtone, on ring anymore. Right. Everybody's phone is on vibration or silent. So now ringtone stuff don't make sense now. But moving forward after that, you're looking like, all right, so I'm not going to be a Soulja Boy where I could have made umpteen amount of millions and stuff off this. Didn't get a dime because I already relinquished my rights when they converted over to this to residual. Moving forward now, this is what I like my ringtone shit to do if it comes up.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now, Soulja Boy, you can still probably play Kiss Me Through the Phone, even through like your iPhone. But whoever, let's say it's a Beyonce with some we gonna get fucked up tonight. She's making every penny off of that because the precedent has been set.
It's like this is old school rapper. I can't remember exactly who it was, but right now he's suing the record label because in the contract, when he signed the contract, streaming wasn't a thing, and they didn't put anything as far as future medium, right? So because
the artist or the
label,
record. Yeah, why would they? You're losing more money.
No, but some contracts have it. Some contracts. No, I'm talking back then. Back
Ooh,
then,
tell me who.
Some contracts would say, okay, for like this medium, so it would be.
Could you tell me somebody that we might know?
I've seen a contract. I've seen an actual. I don't know if it was Universal, but it said, tape, phonograph, right?
We don't even use that no more.
MP3, CD, and it stopped at MP3. Phonograph would be vinyl. Stopped at MP3 because MP3 was the medium at the time.
Okay.
But it didn't, and then in the contract, and it said, in any future mediums that this may appear on, right? So when they say any future mediums that this may appear on, that would include streaming, that would include anything that's coming after these type of set standards that you're playing back this music on. But the contract with Dudeside didn't have that. It just got up to, I guess, MP3s. So now the label is streaming this guy's music. So he's like, oh shit, well, they owe me money because I own half the rights to that. I didn't sign any rights for it to be streamed.
And he or she is entitled
to that.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
But most of those contracts weren't written like that.
Weren't written like that.
Because most of they're like, I want to say you had to be in that in-between stage when they're like, oh shit, the world might even do some other shit we've yet to understand. That's why we said future media.
Right.
If I'm cutting a contract and stuff, it'd be like, nah, bitch, the buck stops right here. Because after this, I recoup all that money. You ain't going to get shit. When it comes to the writers, I see their pain, but they're not going to get shit.
Yep.
If the changes do happen and stuff, then okay, I'm all for it. The Daily Show, that time, Jon Stewart is still on the fence. I tried to look up information and stuff to see.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't see, but he was the only show that's still going besides the regular like news channels and stuff. Because the news channels is kind of like, they just put whatever on the teleprompter so they don't really have real writers.
Right, no.
Right?
Yeah.
TV shows got shut. A lot of shows got shut. Even right now with the current one, Jimmy Fallon went dark. Seth Meyers went dark. So a lot of places, they're not going to be functionable to work and run as smooth as the Podical Sons podcast. So if you want to throw us on NBC.
We're here, we are here.
NBC, CBS, I can take a TNT. I'll sit next to Shaq and cuss smooth with Shaq there.
And we do our own material.
I'll cuss not your average there.
We do our own material. So it's free flowing. It's free flowing.
Freestyle, man. It's freestyle. The topic in the freestyle.
But you would think like after 2007, they would put something in place just in case if it happened again.
I don't want to assume, but you're right.
Yeah.
Because I think the thing and stuff is that I think it was here with the bus strikes. They were saying TTC is not allowed to strike.
Right.
What would you put to the writers and stuff like, all right, moving forward, you guys, we screwed you on some coins and stuff, whatever back then. Moving forward, but you guys aren't allowed to strike. So in 2023, if you have an inkling to even try to strike, it's not happening. What could you put in place?
Maybe some stipulations where you can have a certain amount of non-union writers.
Stipulations of non-union.
You can have a certain amount of non-union writers. So like for every 4 union writers you have, you're allowed 1 non-union writer.
Would a company take that though? Because think about it.
The company would take that. Would the union take that? Because the union is in defense of the writers, right?
I don't know if the company might take that. The reason why I say that I don't think the company might take it is because I look at it where you have the union, they're looking at you and say like, all right, let's say you already have this company. Union's already embedded there. Mm-hmm. Now you're telling them you want some non-union writers to be like, whoa. Either you're in or you're out. So if they tell you like, yo, like we don't want to deal with the union, they'd be like, fine, do your own damn thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like the union,
yeah,
whatever union, they're gonna blacklist your shit.
Well, yeah, they always do.
So you gotta be prepared to deal with some of that drama, that smoke. I look at it, a lot of people don't understand how to wage wars nowadays. Mm-hmm. Like Art of War and business books, they're like best friends to me. So I read a few. And I look at it where people are like, no, you don't like this, then whatever. Vaccine. Look at the vaccine shit. People are like, oh, I'm not going to get vaccinated and blah, blah, blah. And now certain people can't even get a check from unemployment. Mm-hmm. You got to know how to wage war properly, right? But a lot of people don't know how to wage war. Then they say yes to a lot of these things, and then they still get screwed with no lubrication. So I don't know if a company might take that, because the company might look at me like, yo.
Well, they need to figure out something. Because it's going to be a lot of days.
Podcasts on TV.
A lot of days.
Podcasts on TV. Run it. I'm here. I'm for it.
And if you don't find us on TV, just find us on the podcast. Yeah? You don't even need to go to TV. Just
Cut the middleman. Cut the middleman out.
We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on all these platforms. You know what I mean?
I wanted to ask you, with all the ChatGPT shit and the AI stuff, I know you're in fear. And you're not ready to just live a normal life without worrying?
Sir?
You're not ready to live a normal life without worrying about your ChatGPTs and AI?
I've been.
You sure?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
I feel like this is going to be an eternal battle for you.
Me? No.
I worry about you. I worry about you.
No, I'm good.
I want to make sure, because then sometimes you're like, "Oh, look at this." I'm laughing at all the AI shit. I'm with the shits. I'm loving it now. Michael Jackson singing "Dirty Wine." Like, come on, man. All that. Who would have thought Michael Jackson and Tony Matterhorn would have been so great together?
Nah, I'm cool with it. It's just, I think
there's the but. Why for it?
Just the counteractive measures. Now we got to see what they're gonna do with it, because
counteractive measures,
as far as people misusing identities, misusing likeness, and that sort of stuff. Like, how is that's gonna be the new battle, right?
But it's gonna be hard to decipher reality from I want to say reality to augmented reality. Right? Because think about it. Right now, we're in hot tension time and stuff with, I guess, Russia and China against the world.
Right.
Right? They said, what did they say? Somebody tried to take out the Kremlin. They tried to take out Putin. Let's say it's, remember, you just need 3 seconds. You just need 3 seconds to kind of record the voice.
Right.
AI, Putin is saying they're dropping nukes and stuff in America. That's turning the world into like chaos. Right there, from just that kind of talk. You get what I'm saying? How are we going to decipher the real from the fake?
Well, see, now you just kind of have to hold off on news. You can't react. The first thing is you can't react to that news so quickly. You're going to have to verify sources.
But like, take like 20 minutes for a nuke to leave from Russia to get to like this side of the world.
You're gonna have to verify sources. Right? You're gonna have to verify sources.
You gotta verify that shit in your car and see if you can drive way faster.
You're gonna have to verify.
You can't use your phone and drive
because the thing that you don't want to do is start a nuclear war over something that somebody did an AI with, right? So you're gonna have to verify, even if you think that is 99% real Putin's voice saying that, you're going to have to verify just to satisfy other people.
Yeah.
We're at
we don't have
that
time.
We don't.
That's why I don't give a fuck moment now. It's like, I'm gonna live.
It sucks. We don't.
Just live. Live with me, smooth. Just live.
I'm not pushing that
Don't
button.
let the AI take you.
I'm not pushing that button. And when we push the button, it is AI. The AI's taking us.
The AI already took it. Just live. The paranoia. There's certain things in your control. There's certain things out of your control. And I look at it stuff as where the most I feel like the world can do, and it's just me, I feel like whenever technology comes in, there's a fearmonger amongst it. A few jobs are now lost or replaced because with the new technology coming in.
Yeah.
And then we're going to get over it. We're going to get over it. Like, think about, let's say, if they had like people legit like, what movie I was watching with the Hidden Figures? When they were trying to calculate how to get to the moon and all that type of stuff.
Right.
Think about how many jobs like that got replaced when not even supercomputers, but like decent computers came into play, right? Of course, people lost jobs. And of course, people are like, oh, these things are going to take over. Madness, I tell you, madness. I'm not saying that it won't happen.
Yeah.
Because keep it a buck, I feel like most of the places we go to now are probably damn dystopian cities as is. So it was once a Netflix kind of setting.
Yeah.
Now it's actually a reality and stuff. I just feel like when we get to a point, we're going to get there, technology is going to get there, jobs going to be lost, and we're going to find a balance and we're going to just keep it pushing.
What are they trying for balance right now? They're pushing universal credits and universal benefits because they're saying there's going to be a lot of people who are not going to work. So they still need to be able to have money and they still need to be able to have you still need to have the economy moving, right? So if they're not making money, then they can't spend. So they got to figure out a way to put money in people's pockets. So that's been a big talk for a while, I know, within Canada. I don't know how much in the US they've talked about it. So I've heard it mentioned in the US, in the UK, but that seems to be where it's headed. It's funny because I've always looked at it like just watching like shows like Star Trek.
Okay.
Whenever you see them going to a planet, or if they're ever on a planet, it's never overpopulated. It's just a few people walking around, right? And you never see nobody working. You've never seen an episode where they've landed on a planet and you've seen people working.
The writers were shit. They needed ChatGPT back then to write a proper show. But continue.
But that just goes to show you that there's never an idea of a future that they had where people were working. It was either you walked around, you did nothing, and machines did everything.
But I've said this thing countless times. Human beings have made things more complicated than what they need to be. Right? We need food, we need water, we need shelter, we need sex, like mating to reproduce, right? We've now made certain things and stuff into that level. So I don't expect another civilization from like another world, another planet to even kind of understand our world.
Right.
Like to that level, right? Our the human brain takes, I guess I'm assuming, takes like about like 16 years to kind of solidly develop. Because remember, you have our young are born, the babies are born. Once they're done, they're just laying on their backs.
Right.
Right? You have a giraffe, they're born at noon, by 6 p.m. is running everywhere. Most of the animals and stuff, they're starting to function. And even like I want to say cheetahs and other cats, they have their young for like less than a year. And then after that, they're just living their normal life. And these are other species we share the planet with. So much as another planet, I don't think we made shit complicated. So Star Trek, they were the complicated ones.
They were the complicated ones?
They went to other places and stuff for them to see what's popping over there. Exploration.
You gotta find out what's going on in Mars.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like reality is just going to be very, very, very hard to decipher. Because even with the hypothetical, and I hope no one hears that, what I just said. Well, I hope they hear it for the views and the plays, but not for the terrorist thoughts. But you get what I'm saying? It can go dark real quick. And I want to say to discern or decipher what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
It's very hard for a lot of people before ChatGPT. Keep it a buck. I even looked at Grammarly. Grammarly is the fucking first ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Oh, you want your senses to have more confidence? They just come and do the edits and everything. And I've seen all these YouTube commercials. I was like, because I'm broke, because I don't pay for YouTube. So I look at it when I get the commercials.
There's been a few. There's one
in the brewing.
Yeah, there's one where it's an actual where you can pick the AI character.
Yeah.
And have them do like presentations for you.
There's
been a few.
These are the advanced ones.
There's been a few.
For time, they've been trying to come with things like I said, from Grammarly. Grammarly isn't a walk-on to the scene.
Right.
ChatGPT, I want to say, would be a semi-walk-on to the scene, if not ending last year to now.
Right.
But we knew Grammarly from years now. And that's what I'm saying. Grammarly does some things and stuff I want to say ChatGPT does not do, but ChatGPT is like the next level.
Right.
And then there'll be a next level after. And like I said, we'll know the technology will come in. Some people lose jobs. Some people, they'll get scared. And the car, the Model T, there's tons of examples and stuff with us and technology as humans. So I'm like, just breathe deep and enjoy that damn Timberland and Biggie track that he created for you, man. Because Timberland couldn't make it. Why you roll your eyes for? You see? See, you're not making peace.
No.
One of us. One of us. One of us.
Let Biggie be. Michael Jackson singing Dirty Wine.
Yo, I love the track. I love it. With the hee-hees and everything, I was like, I love it.
This is sacrilegious, I tell you. Sacrilegious.
How you know Mike wasn't a undercover roots man?
He could have been an undercover roots man. We don't know.
Okay. All right. Would you date a bus driver?
If she owns the bus. Yeah.
Oh. What's the equivalent for men? We have no standards.
No, we
A
don't.
Fortune 500 millionaire
would
date a woman who a cashier at a grocery store. There'll be no arguments.
No arguments.
And they'll be like, they might even say, her knight in shining armor came to come save her and rescue her.
That they might say.
But now when the woman is running the Fortune 500 company and the guy's like, I'm a bus driver, you're like, step Step off, brokey. What the fuck, dog?
It's kind of harsh.
How'd you feel when you saw the Ebony K and Iana, Dr. Van Zet's conversation?
You know, I can see her probably wanting to date her, like maybe equal or someone who's on her level.
What does that mean? So does that mean that men, we never date women on our equal or on our level?
No, I'm not saying that, but I can see her when she's saying that, not wanting to date anyone who doesn't bring the same amount that she brings to the table, let's say. At the same time, though, it's like...
What's important?
Yeah, it's like what's important, and does, apart from what he may not bring into the table financially, does he meet all the other check boxes, or does he check out everything else that's important to you, that you would deem important in a relationship? And if he does, and you know, there's just that one point where he drives a bus, I mean, he's making an honest living. He's doing something, a 9 to 5. He's paying his bills. He's not out there begging or doing anything like that. So I don't see what the problem is, because you can't show him off. He's not trophy. He's not like, and I think that's a lot of problems, part of the problems too, right? It's like,
but the same person, this bus driver, was a hero 3 years ago during the pandemic when everybody else was sitting at home, and this person was still getting other essential workers to work. Mm-hmm. So this person was a hero, and now 3 years later, you've now removed the hero title to like a scum job, or like, you get what I'm saying?
No. He was a hero doing a scum job. They never removed that. They never removed that, right?
Okay.
They would just, oh my gosh, you're a hero.
So now they just look at you as your scum job instead of the hero now.
Yeah.
You're a bus driver.
Now that the hero, there's no need for you to be heroic no more. Mm-hmm. You've gone back to that scum job.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. It's very crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. Because I see, I'm so scared. I want to say where I'm not looking for just myself. I can handle myself.
Right.
My son.
Right.
Other younger generations now. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I look at it where 68, so let's say 70s, 80s, 90s, 2010s, 2020. So 40 years. So 4 decades now, right? We've gone from women weren't working, they were barely able to vote, to now women are in the workforce and stuff heavy. So I want to say probably like in the 80s, and my numbers are not legit, probably anecdotal, and definitely anecdotal, but let's say they were probably about 10%
right
out of the 100% were women in the workforce in North America in the 80s, going into the 80s. Where it is now in North America is about 40% strong. Women are in the workforce.
Right.
Now, in America and in Canada, there's women that out-earn men by the dozens. The massive amount is like catastrophic.
Okay.
Let's say stuff like STEM. Men used to dominate those fields, right? I heard somebody say this the other day in a meeting I was in. It's like kind of like the opposite of STEM. I think it's called HEAL, like healthcare. I think the L is like literature and stuff. Some jobs men can't get. Like, would you feel comfortable with stuff you've seen, like your child's daycare was overrun by male?
I wouldn't feel that. Not overrun. Maybe sprinkle a male here in the middle there. I'll be okay.
Salt Bay? What are you, Salt Bay
Put
now?
a male here in the middle there. I'll be okay.
But you're okay with a woman dominating, like a woman workforce that's dominating the daycare thing. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. There's so many stigmas and stuff on men where women, the stigmas are not that high. So they dominate the workforce. So I feel like you can expect a woman to be great more than you can expect a man to be great. When was the last time you heard somebody say some shit like female lawyer?
That's been a while.
You just hear lawyer.
Right.
You heard male nurse? You hear male nurse now. And it's still common.
Right.
And they're not just walk-ons to the sets. Like there's been male nurses from nighttime.
Yeah.
But we're not comfortable in the world like that. And even the world, like in the 40 years from that time.
Right.
Right? So I look at it stuff as like women are gonna outwork men and they're gonna dominate more the workforce. It's gonna be expected some space, shape, or form that this set man, he might be able to protect, but he might not be able to provide like that because it's a team dynamic. Again, like I said, we're establishing rules in a former archaic time which were in modern day rules. Modern day problems require modern day solutions. If he's a bus driver, be happy. Again, the morals, principles, the characters you're asking for, right? Ebony K. Williams, I feel like from what I know of her, is a great woman. It's hard as fuck to humble a great woman.
Right.
It's easy to humble a great man. And I'm not saying it from a man's standpoint and stuff. I feel like a great man can be humbled by 20 men, 20 normal people. 20 normal people. Whatever the fuck the genders may be now.
Right.
A great woman, I think you need maybe 50 to like 70 normal people to humble her. Because it's kind of like, if we say something bad about a woman who like society or people might deem as great,
right,
we're just haters.
Right.
We need that big of a bandstand to kind of actually echo some shit for people to be like, and for even actually the woman herself to probably be like, you know what? Why all of them are saying, like, you know, how come so many people are saying this about me?
Right. Yeah.
You know, maybe I need to look at this.
Yeah.
A man, I think, once they question your integrity about certain type of things,
that's it.
He's automatically revealing, like, because they're looking to pin him across for one thing.
Right. Yeah.
But I think it's kind of like the girl power, and we're here to say, like, you know, we shouldn't beat up on our women, which we should not.
Right.
We should let them shine. But I feel like that's a double-edged sword when you're trying to uplift somebody.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have the ones that be like, they actually were low. So if you uplift them, they're now to a quote-unquote normal level. But if they're already at a normal level and you uplifted them and stuff, they feel like they're higher than God.
Right.
If he owns the bus?
I mean, if he owns the bus. If she owns the bus.
How many independent bus services do you know? Bus companies do you know?
Listen, man. I say, look, she can drive the bus. You know what I mean? She can drive the bus. I'm okay with her driving the bus. She don't got to own the bus. I'm okay with her driving it.
I'm okay with her working in a grocery store. I just look at the stuff as that we have this situation where, I feel like the world we live in now, I heard even Steve Harvey say something similar to Don Couché, to Shannon the other day, like, why you young men always complaining about, like, you know, what she has to bring to the table? She's able to bring like 2 tables or something like that. Be like, no, that's not every woman, but every woman wants, or majority of women want these kind of set standards for the protect and provide aspect. We were once in that state of mind, in that mode, but then when you're telling us now, your provide aspect, you're kind of going too much. And you see, I think the rise and fall of like mankind, it comes in with like the problems they refuse to deal with, and they're trying to sweep underneath the rug till they realize that, oh shit, we should have dealt with this then. And now we have a tsunami effect we have to deal with, and people don't have that time.
Right.
Right? Because like I said, it's been 40 years from like the women's suffrage movement, about like approximately 40 years from this side of the world, to now we're now realizing the stuff like, well, shit, we were pouring into the women. What the fuck? We didn't really pour into much in the men.
Yeah.
She out here with the Fortune 500 company. Yo, hey, not your average. Got these keys for this fresh bus for you to drive, though. But don't worry. She's going to get lonely. And when she gets lonely one day, hopefully, you have your money up.
I have my money up.
Not take her to no seafood. No Red Lobster. Olive Garden. Italian Red Lobster. Cheesecake Factory. Step up Red Lobster. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a problem. Help us. Smooth, help me. I'm lost. What do I tell my son? What do I tell my little cousins? What do I tell some friends and stuff from their sons?
I mean, hopefully the transgender will be in full swing. And the women will have it just as crappy as the men.
On that note, let's get to the question of the week.
Question of the week.
I love it. We'll end it. We'll end it there. We'll end it there. Question of the week. For what cause or for what person would you sacrifice your life for?
For what cause?
Or person?
Um,
Would you sacrifice your life for your kids? Your wife?
Yeah, I was gonna say those who I love dearly and very mean much to me. So my kids, my wife, my closest of family members.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, I'll go to war.
Now they put a gun to you and your wife's head and stuff, whatever, and they say you gotta suck that dude's dick to save your wife's life. What's going on? Saving that life?
I'm gonna save a life.
Oh! My man!
I'm gonna save a life.
My man! Yeah. It ain't gay when somebody gotta stay in this world.
No.
I'm gonna question a few things later, but
if
you
that's
know,
the
like
price of
that's
her-
the price.
If that's the price of her living, she's gonna live.
Good for you.
gonna
Bad for me though. I don't know,
Bad for
like you know. R.I.P. She might be missed. I think definitely, without a doubt, my son. I think certain like offspring and children.
Yeah.
For most people, it's a given.
Yeah.
It might be a few people and stuff that might be like, oh no, you know, definitely not my kid and stuff. I kind of question at times. I think that's where my judgmental thing will kind of like. I realize I try to operate in a non-judgmental zone most of the time.
Right.
And when I have like these pause moments, like when I hear when I see some people operate and you know they have kids,
Yeah.
and they move a kind of type of manner that don't flag you off as like, yo, like not judgy, but this is a problem. Oh, okay. I thought it was just me. I was about to say either I'm going to BC for some crack this weekend. I don't know, but people that is willing to sacrifice their life for specific loved ones, I don't doubt that. Causes. If you're willing to die for your dream. If this cause is part of your dream, I say die for it.
Yeah.
I say die for it. Because at the end of the day, I think if they die in the process of it, whatever, they'll still have satisfaction. If they don't willing to do the extra step or go the extra mile,
Yeah.
I think that resentment might form. Let's say even if they don't give up their life to save somebody and the person dies, the resentment's still going to be there within the person.
What if it's not your dream, but something you truly believe in? A cause you truly believe in?
A cause you truly believe in, to die for it? I don't see why not.
Mm.
I don't see why not. Coretta Scott, her last name is still King.
Do you think that's
That dream is still alive.
you think that's why we still have so much people who want to voluntarily be soldiers as opposed to being drafted? At one point, it was an honor to die for your country, right?
Of course. I would hope to say that. Hell, I was even looking at Rick and Morty the other day, the Thanksgiving one, when everybody turned into turkeys. And they had the guy, he was just like a regular farm kind of guy. And then the government came to him and he turned into a turkey. I'm doing this for the country. I'm doing it. I got to make sure you and the baby are safe.
Right.
Motherfucker's like, yo, my family needs to be protected. My family needs to be provided for. Fuck everything else. Where do I sign?
Right.
I don't argue with that person. This is their life. They choose to live their life on their terms this way. I just look as that I'm not going to understand everything, but I would hope that I would have the understanding and see it and kind of get it. You don't stand for nothing, you fall for everything, right?
Yeah.
So let it be something you really love or real passionate about.
I agree.
Let's get to the Ask the Sons.
Ask the Sons.
First Ask the Sons question comes from John_Snowden. Jon Snow. I see what you did there. If aliens came to Earth and wanted to speak to one ambassador, who would you recommend?
One ambassador?
President ChatGPT. I like fucking with Smooth today. Just in case anybody was asking. I'm just going to terrorize him. If I'm to pick an ambassador, keep it a buck, I would actually... So I got three choices in my head. I have Duarte from the Philippines that no
Okay.
one likes.
Okay.
There's a dirty Duarte Harry. Yeah, Dirty Harry. Arden, former President Arden from New Zealand,
Right.
and Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders.
And I would choose somebody out of them depending on, like, you know,
What type of alien?
depending on the alien.
Depending on the alien.
Because if they come kind of gun ho,
Yeah.
Dirty Harry's going first. Dirty Harry's going first.
So I got.
But if they're coming to like help replenish or make the planet even better,
Yeah.
we'll start with Bernie.
Bernie.
And if you're talking about like where we are in progression wise and just in form, I will go Arden.
I'm trading Duarte with Trump. Because I figure.
We gonna bang this shit out. Yo, it's gonna yeah. Let's hear this. Because Yosemite Sam is not the one to choose, but go ahead.
With Trump. I'm gonna throw Obama in there. Because I think he can smooth things over with his level of speech,
charisma.
His charisma. And no, I don't have a third. Just it's either gonna be Trump.
They said choose one.
Yeah, it's either gonna be Trump or Obama.
Yeah,
because I would need two for that similar situation. Because I don't know what type of alien that I'm dealing with, and I don't want to just pick the one person and I get like that hostile guy. And I should have had the Trump instead of the Obama. Yeah. No,
right, and you don't want to bring
you need
because like they come now. Let's say, all right, the aliens that we're used to or allegedly the UFOs, they come in like Dark say, oh shit, humans seen us. They take off.
Right.
Now you get some bold ass motherfuckers that come approaching slowly through the atmosphere, park up, and they said they want
music.
No, not even blasting music, but he would just come maybe the black government. Like some purge type of shit. Then they come through and then they land. Now, if they land, I look at it like, yo, they could have came through, bomb.
Came through blazing.
They came in peaceful. All right, Duarte, we need to sit your ass down on this one.
Right.
You're not the person we choosing for this one.
Right.
If they're like, we'd like to help your planet. Bernie, you're up.
Verdi.
You know what I'm saying? Because now that once again, I'm in need of your financial help. That would be no more. We got you on the forefront.
I was thinking about this the other day, right?
Talk to me.
Do you think aliens, when they come, they'll just have like one dialect? Or they got like different set of languages from when they come from like Earth?
I think to keep it a buck. Because, you know, I feel like I got more respect for some aliens than I do for humans.
Yeah.
Keep it a buck. I feel like the aliens in my head, they have a proximity area.
Right.
So let's say, we'll say for shits and giggles and stuff, whatever, we'll say 25 feet around set alien, it's Translasia.
It's Translasia.
So outside that shit, they sound like some shit like that.
Right.
And our shit just sound like English.
Yeah.
And when we get into a close proximity range and stuff, whatever, all English translation.
All English translation.
Because we're in like their barriers of a translation type of thing.
Right.
Now the motherfuckers don't come in translation. Send in Trump, man. Let's take these motherfuckers of whatever they have, man. Let's go, MAGA!
So I mean, like, how confusing is that? Like,
make the atmosphere great again.
you're an alien, and you the first place you go to is Russia, and you meet with the president there in Russia, and you say, yo, you fly back. You say, yo, they're pretty cool down there, man. Like, yo, let's head back. You head back, but this time you head back. You're in South Africa. Now you got to learn a totally new language.
Translator. You win, baby. You gotta get some alleged.
Some alleged.
I use the word alleged. Remember Independence Day?
Right.
The one white guy with the glasses, the long hair?
Yes.
I know everything about the aliens.
Yes.
So you're gonna have that one person be like,
you need him.
Yo, we heard that you were a master of linguistics. Then when they put you in front of those aliens, they're like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, you need one translator.
They said they come in peace. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
I kind of like how they did it in Ant-Man.
In which? Oh, the last one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was like drink the sludge or the.
You're drinking sludge?
Drink the sludge.
You're drinking alien sludge?
Bro.
Are you drinking alien sludge?
I mean, his daughter didn't. She didn't die. I mean, I'm looking over. She didn't die.
Oh, so you want somebody else to go first?
Yeah.
It's okay. They land here in front of your fucking house.
Yeah.
They land in front of your house, and then you come out first.
Neighbors.
Sacrifice the lambs.
Take the sledge. Take the sledge. But it was funny. It was dope.
Smooth the shepherd.
But it was dope.
Sacrificing the
It was dope though because all yours are everybody's doing it. And as soon as he drank the juice, everybody was like English. I was like, oh shit. Like, damn.
I'm with it.
We need a pill like that.
I'm with it. Next question comes from Lazy Boy. What villain do you root for?
What villain do I root for?
What villain do you root for?
Joker.
Magneto for me.
Magneto for you?
I
like Magneto as
I always rooted for Magneto. I think I slowly eased up when people were like, oh, Professor X is Martin Luther King and Magneto's Malcolm X. No, the fuck he's not. Okay, he's not.
You're not reading into it deep enough, man.
Shut your ass up. I always wanted Magneto to win. Wile E. Coyote. I always looked at Wile E. Coyote as the dumbest, richest motherfucker alive. Yeah. You buy all these things from Acme. Well, that was a company, right?
Acme.
Buy dinner. Buy a pizza. You can't catch this road runner, call it a day. I root for them. And I realized that I do root for, I was watching the flick with somebody, I think, a few months back. And then I realized that like they pointed out to me, they're like, yo, anytime you watch a movie and let's say they kill like somebody, like, you know, a henchman or something like that, they'd be like, oh, they won't make it to part 2. Right? They're like, why you always say that? I was like, because deep down inside, I root for the henchmen, the minor henchmen.
Yeah.
They have a life.
They got a life.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they took the job because whatever. You know, like think about a Steven Seagal movie. Marked for Death. This guy probably didn't get no pussy because he was a bus driver. These drug dealers are now paying this money. So he's like, all right.
He's got a wife and kids back in Jamaica.
You see the vision.
You wonder why those dreads were so angry. They got family to feed, man.
And let the church say amen.
Yeah, you're right.
That's it. That's who I root for.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's what you root for, huh?
I had a Joker.
Why him?
I think he's misunderstood. And I think the more misunderstood he gets, the more wrapped up in his own dementia and torment he gets.
I like the other Joker that they did with Joaquin.
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix.
He was a good Joker.
I like that Joker and stuff because it's like a Joker origin.
Yeah.
And I like to see like where or why, like, you know, like where did it start from? Because a lot of times we're fed steps 7, 8, 9, and 10. And I like to see how did it all start? Where did it start from?
Yeah.
So I dig it. Okay, last one comes from C-Spot Sit. Not C-Spot Run? That's fine.
Where's Spot sitting?
Here on the damn question slot. C-Spot Sit says, how long is your longest friendship? I love that question. I'm glad you guys sent it. I love that question. How long is your longest friendship?
40 years?
40 years. 40 years.
Yeah.
Shout out the friend.
Jason.
For me, it's Benji. Benjamin. And yeah, we had 30.
30.
We had 30. Because I'm almost 40.
Mm-hmm.
So we had 30. We up there.
Yeah, I know Justin from like kindergarten.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's like 5? You're from 5 years old?
5.
Good shit.
Yeah, it's called 4-3.
I think it's dope because it speaks about character. Because I want to say, well, we know with course of life, a lot of people intend to walk their own path.
Yeah.
And if you walk your own path and you've now become, I want to say, kind of stray from a person, do you find yourself to come back to that path?
Right.
Right? I want to say, just to let them, like the love.
Yeah.
The love. Because be like, yeah, we are two different people. Like, I have friends and stuff that do live a life that doesn't align with my current life.
Right.
Right? I want to say, for lack of better words, it would be more in the criminal activity stuff. I don't love them any less. We walk different paths, but we do know when we have the time, we will come together.
Yeah.
And they know, like, I know one in particular, he goes the extra mile and he'll say it and stuff to me. He's like, I'll come check you or I'll come see you or we'll link. So then therefore, like, I won't bring none of my nonsense and nothing shit around you and everything like that. So I'm like, nah, you're good. He's like, no. We don't live the same kind of life.
Right, yeah.
And I don't want to put you in a situation where my life might intersect your world and fuck up shit in your world and everything like that. He's like, innocent bystanders is a thing. Yeah. And I was like, dope. I appreciate you taking it to that far. And even with that person, yeah, that's 20-year relationship. That person's
20 year plus.
That's a 20-year relationship since 2003. So yeah, I mean, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my long friendships. I'm always dodgy on people and stuff. It's not judgment, just dodgy on them when I don't hear their friendships are longer than 10 years. I always question why, and I look at how old are they too.
Right.
If you're in your 60s and over a period of time, you lost some peoples and stuff along the way, I can kind of get it. When you're under the 50 mark. Let's say even in your 30s, you don't look to say like, like, yo, boss, we've been rocking from like a time. Yeah. Or who you with? Like, yo, who can back you? Who can say you're good for this? Yeah. Friends. I'm sorry, sending some AI friends to come holler at you on the gram. Tell them hi. We are here, man.
We are here.
We are here. Let's get this Associated Sons popping for everybody, and then we can be on our merry way. Associated Sons this week says, if you're too busy surviving, stop moving and take a second to pause.
So says the Sons.
People aren't breathing any day. They're not breathing no more. They're just reacting. We live in volatile times. Smooth reacts when I say AI and ChatGPT. He's not reacting now.
He's looking for reaction.
White for it. It'll be before or later. I know that for sure. But I don't know if a lot of people know, but when you do hyperventilate, you do not pump a lot of oxygen into your system, your body, and not a lot of oxygen goes to your brain. When you take the time to stop and take a deeper breath, you pump more oxygen to the brain, help your thoughts become a little bit more clearer.
Right.
You're constantly going, take the time to breathe. Take a breath. I know we're busy. We're all busy surviving. This world isn't easy. We spoke about that today.
I have one friend used to say, and I'm sure he didn't make it up. He's probably got it from somewhere, but busy existing and not living.
Busy existing and not living. Yeah. Scratching and surviving. Good times. Yes.
Driving the bus.
Good times. Not able to bust a nut. Good times. Ain't we grateful we got them? Good times. The hand pose. The hand pose. That's it, man. We are here. Like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate you guys for rocking with us. Thank you for taking the time. Once again, thank you for listening to Podical Sons. Remember the difference between genius and stupidity? That genius has its limits. Peace and love, y'all.
Peace.
Arrivederci.
The Podical Sons was not your average Joseph and Sofa King Marvelous.